Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show as we're coming to you live from our South Tampa studio here, the Jeeves Law Studio. What's up, people? And, of course, my man IndyCar Tim coming to you from our DSP affiliate in Dallas, Fort Worth. What's up, partner? How are you?
Man, I'm just sitting here listening to Mavericks fans go nuts about Luka debuting in Los Angeles last night and just laughing in their absolute faces because it's so stupid. And meanwhile, you got the Mavs throwing home team fans out of their own arena for wearing T-shirts or holding signs that show their displeasure for the Luka trade.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
It's a thing. They're censoring Mavericks fans inside the arena.
Censoring Mavs fans.
Some dude, a buddy of mine, not a buddy of mine, but an acquaintance of mine got thrown out last night for wearing a T-shirt that he had with the new owner, Miriam Adelson, who's, of course, part of a Las Vegas casino mogul partnership or whatever. And that's why they bought the Mavericks, was so that they could bring casinos here to Dallas. Well, the state of Texas nixed that in their last legislative session. So anyway,
wow,
he wore a
T-shirt disaster
with her face and a clown nose. Like, that's the famous of that around here is it's Jerry Jones with the clown nose. Like, that's a whole
Stu
thing
Sternberg with the clown nose. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he wore a Miriam Adelson with the clown nose, and he had it covered up when he went in with his jacket because it's freaking cold here.
Right.
But he took it off during the game. They were starting chants, fire Nico, fire, and all this crap. And the security came down and, booted him out. Booted him and his friend out because they were starting the chants.
Censorship. Wow.
Yeah. So,
once it becomes a thing, people think they can do it.
Yeah.
And you're so dumb. You're so dumb. You don't know how much worse you've made it when you do stuff like, if you just ignore it and a few people see it, it's no big deal. When you do this, it becomes a big deal.
Now everybody's going to show up at the arena and start.
Exactly.
They're kicking everybody out. The arena wasn't even half full.
Yeah. Like, at what point are people going to understand that the truth always comes into the light, people? You can do all your shenanigans.
Yeah.
You can think you're getting away with it, but guess what? Sooner or later, the light is going to shine on you. We're seeing that a lot these days.
Yeah.
So,
and Maverick 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 and Maverick.
What the hell has happened there?
Maverick and 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 Maverick.
I don't even know what to do with that. I don't even know what to do with that. Luckily, he pushed the button to stop that. What the hell was that? Are you there? Are you back? My God. And by the way, turn off your freaking phone. Why is your
Can
phone
you hear me?
still on? I
can't hear
can
you.
now. Why is your phone still on during the show? Turn it off. Why is your ringer on?
Now can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I just had a power surge come through the building that knocked my camera out and everything.
Well, you know what happened? So when your phone rang, right, it stuck on like a loop. It ring, and you saying something. I forget what you were saying, but something about the Mavericks, and it just looped. It was like ring Mav, ring Mav, ring Mav. Yeah, it was very.
Oh wow!
People at home going, are we reliving that? Yeah, there's a little thing on the side of the phone. You can push it down, and that'll that'll keep it from ringing during the middle of the show 6 times.
It's down. I know it's down.
It's interesting how that works.
But anyway, so Dirk posted on X that he was going to the game in Los Angeles for Luka's first game, and Mavs fans went nuts because he comes to every Mavs home game because he lives here, obviously.
Right.
So even he's like protesting sort of in his own little way. And then, of course, the Lakers gave away about 1,000 Luka jerseys. LeBron shows up on the court. He comes out of the locker room wearing a Luka jersey.
Nice.
It's just so stupid. I'm so tired of it. Seriously, so tired of it.
Well, again, don't try to censor people. That's Stu. The Rays do that too with Stu stuff, and move the Rays to Tampa. Yeah. I mean, it's so short-sighted. You just give the people more ammunition. You give them more attention, which is exactly what you're trying not to do. It's it's a very checkers move in a chess world, not very smart. So, but anyway, all right. So we got lots of fun to get to today. Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report's going to join us. We're going to talk about the Buccaneers off season and the Super Bowl. Of course, we'll get his thoughts on what went down there. What did we learn about the Philadelphia Eagles, about the Bucs as well in the Super Bowl? Anthony Becht's going to join us, the head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks of the UFL, father of Rocco Becht. Always a great chat with him. So we'll talk all things Buccaneers, college football, UFL, all that with Anthony Becht. Always fun chatting with him. And, of course, your comments and questions, you can do that in the Facebook chat or on YouTube or on X. So bring your comments, bring your opinions, and let's get right into it. So, first of all, I know you joined us yesterday, Timmy, but further reflection on the Super Bowl as you see it now, and when you're one of your favorite teams, the Philadelphia Eagles, wearing the crown of NFL champion.
So I still can't believe the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. As a matter of fact, I woke up this morning, JP, because I went to bed pretty early last night. I wasn't feeling great, took some Benadryl, so I had a super, super deep sleep, and I had some really weird dreams.
Drug-induced.
I legit woke up this morning halfway thinking all that was a dream or a bad dream.
A nightmare.
I was like, wait, the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl, right? Like, there's no way.
So I guess for Bucs fans, that would be like the Saints winning the Super Bowl.
Right. It's the equivalent of that. I mean, I just have and you know what? I'm not a Cowboys lover, not a Cowboys apologist. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm very realistic. You know, I mean, I talk about them all the time. And for the Eagles to be where they are, it's just I still have that hatred as a little kid for hating the Eagles, right?
Well, you know, this just in. They're not going away anytime soon. I hate to tell you.
They winning another title.
Really? Oh, they're not? And that is based on what?
It's based on my knowledge of the future.
Please give me the lotto numbers, please. I mean, they've got a young quarterback.
Terrible.
They've got young receivers. They've got a tremendous offensive line, which most of those guys are now young, except for Lane Johnson. I'm thinking Mekhi Becton. Well, Mekhi Becton is a free agent now.
Yeah.
As is Josh Sweat. Yeah. So they're going to lose some guys. They're definitely going to lose some guys.
Kellen Moore.
Well, according to you, that's not a big loss.
I don't know. He just won a Super Bowl, so
I don't know. You know, that's interesting. You know, they won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago as well. You know, it's
without him.
Yeah. So look, to me, it's more the Jimmies and Joes. X's and O's definitely matter and put you over the top. I think, you have a group of teams. I think this is every year, right? You have a group of 8 to 10 teams, I think, that are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. And we're going to ask the question today, are the Bucs one of those teams going into next year? And I think then it's about injuries, and it's about game management. It's about winning one-score games. And that's a huge part of it. And that's where the head coach comes in, to me. This is why great coaches win lots of Super Bowls. I mean, the reason the Patriots won so many Super Bowls is because they had one of the greatest game managers in Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. That combination, they knew how to win close games. And Andy Reid has taken that to another level, 17-0 when one-score games. And one of the reasons they've had so much success, and especially in the playoffs. Right. So one-score games and managing those games is absolutely critical to put you over the top. So I think that's why having great tactical coaches is a huge advantage. And, not without sounding nasty or anything like that, to have Todd Bowles' record in one-score game and his ability to manage games and win close games is clearly documented. He's not good at it. He's not good at it. So that's, you have to overcome that as a team with better personnel. And so that is the quest for the Buccaneers this year. And if you look at their schedule, their home schedule is pretty easy. Yeah. Their out of division games are Arizona, non-playoff team, Patriots, the Jets. We have no idea who their quarterback's going to be.
No.
The Eagles are coming here. Hey, that'll be a Sunday night or Monday night affair again. Yeah. And of course, we've owned their ass for the most part. The 49ers are coming here as well. What kind of 49ers team is that going to be? You know, they've got
question marks.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel now on the trading block. You know, that's just that it feels like their time has passed. You know, is McCaffrey ever going to be what he once was? And he was such a huge part of their attack. I don't think so. I just, you know, too much. That's what happens when you touch the ball 350 times a year. Your career is just not going to last that long, even if you're Christian McCaffrey, the Terminator.
Well, and in San Francisco, you have the huge question mark of Brock Purdy entering the final year of his deal, still making under $1 million a year, by the way. And the defense should be better. They got Robert Saleh back as their defensive coordinator, so I would think their defense will improve. But you don't know what's going to happen on offense with that Purdy contract hanging over their head unless they fix it immediately.
Yeah, so
the Eagles really the only playoff team, right? Coming to Ray J.
Yeah. They are the only playoff team coming to Ray J are the Eagles, and now the away schedule for the Buccaneers is brutal. I mean, brutal. At Buffalo, at Detroit, all of these playoff teams, at the Rams, at Houston, at Seattle, at the Dolphins, which didn't make the playoffs, but always tough down there, especially early in the season. And they've got 9 road games. Of course, they're divisional opponents. They've got 9 road games this year, and those tough road games. So that's going to be tough. Once again, though, thank God we're in the NFC South, where you only have to, you know, be 1 game over 500 to win the division. So you're probably going to be in good shape. And you know, obviously, the Saints are not. The Saints are not making some type of Washington Commanders meteoric rise. That's not happening. The Falcons will be interesting with Michael Penix for the whole year, but still they're hamstrung by that Kirk Cousins contract. So I don't think they're going to be big players in free agency. They've got a hit in the draft. Look, their roster is not bad. It's
questionable
not bad.
Defense though. Still,
still questionable defense, but it, you know, what happened? They couldn't win games last year. It was really bad. I mean, they should have. That roster should have been better than that record. It certainly shouldn't have been losing to the Panthers. To me,
the biggest question mark in the South is the Panthers. Are they going to continue their little sort of rush they made at the end of the year?
I don't know.
Interesting. Will he stay improved? Will he revert back to what he was early in the season and then last year? To me, they're the biggest question mark.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely. So, I mean, the schedule to me is tougher than this year's schedule, which was pretty tough. So I think this one, those road games, I mean, are they winning at Buffalo? Unlikely. Are they winning at Detroit? Unlikely, but they did last year. But here's the thing. Any of these teams, I think the Bucs can beat. I don't think there's a team on their schedule or a place they go that they can't beat. You know why? Because they did it last year. And they're going to be a better team this year. They're going to be a better team this year. I mean, to me, we got to see what Jason Light does in the draft and what does in free agency. But history being what it is, this guy is going to fill the holes. That's what he did last year. He did a tremendous job of attacking every single need except edge rusher. You can't do it all in 1 year, especially when you have no salary cap. They've been able to stay competitive without eating all this Brady money and Gronk money and all these bloated contracts that they signed and should have signed when you're going for it all in, right? And then, but they stayed competitive and stayed into the playoffs. So, I think this year was as I said yesterday, and I'll repeat it: watching the Eagles blow out the Chiefs just made me more angry, knowing that the Bucs blew out the Eagles 33-16 right here at Raymond James Stadium. And yes, I know they didn't have A.J. Brown. I know they didn't have Devontae Smith. The Bucs didn't have Kalijah Kancey. They didn't have Antoine Winfield in that game, or certainly not a healthy Antoine Winfield. So we can go back and forth. The bottom line is the Bucs, especially along the line of scrimmage, held their own. And that's where Philly wins all their games. So now it comes down to, skill positions, game management, making plays. So I don't fear the Eagles, not when you beat the hell out of them last year. Why would you fear them? And if you don't fear the Eagles, then you're one of those 8 to 10 Super Bowl contending teams. Now, the Super Bowl odds came out yesterday. Where are the Buccaneers?
JP, the Buccaneers are, let's see, I don't have the number here, but they are at plus 3,500.
Wow.
with 12 teams in front of them. Would you like to know the teams in front of them?
Sure.
Bring me the head of the Houston Texans.
Come on.
Plus 3,000. You have both LA teams at plus 2,800. The Chargers are in front of the Bucs.
Yeah, interesting.
Weird. Packers plus 1,900, along with the Commandos at plus 1,900. Yep. Bengals plus 1,800. 49ers plus 1,500. Lions plus 900. Bills plus 700. Ravens plus 700. Chiefs plus 700. And your favorite are your champions, Eagles plus 600.
Eagles. Yeah. Wow. So 13th in the power rankings, so to speak, according to Vegas. Yep. That's fine. I still think they're going to be a contender. I think they're going to find an edge or two. Maybe Josh Sweat. You said the odds. The Bucs have the best odds to land Josh Sweat.
Yep.
2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl. Yep. Former Seminole. Yeah. So that, if they get Josh Sweat and then draft a Mike Green if he's there, or another edge rusher, I think there's going to be a good edge rusher there at 19. Get a corner in free agency. I know there's not a lot out there, but or in the draft. And you've got to address inside linebacker, and I think you're good to go. Bredesen, will he come back at left guard? I think so. I mean, certainly he's found a home here, but money talks, and the Bucs will have some money if they want to keep him. They still had Sua Opeta, who was supposed to beat him out last year until he got injured. And they've got Elijah Klein as well, who they drafted last year, who they really like at left guard. So I'm not so worried about the left guard. I'm not worried about the offensive line. I think it's one of the better offensive lines in the game. They certainly handled Philly's front four way better than Kansas City did, right? I mean, Baker,
my mom handled
347
Philly's front four better than Kansas City did.
What's that?
My mom handled Philly's front four better than Kansas City did.
Well, sorry to hear that about your mom.
Just saying.
Must have been a long night.
Proud of it.
So, yeah, that'll derail the show. I know I don't want to be a homer, and we got a long way to go in free agency and the draft. This is way too premature. But I think, yes, I think the Bucs are a contender. I think they completely underachieved this year as a team. I think they should have gone way deeper into the playoffs than they did. Losing to Washington in the first round at home is inexcusable, given what they were able to do and the roster that they have. Bringing Chris Godwin back on the offensive side, which I think is going to happen. I think they're a contender, but it'll be interesting to see. And listen, it's not like Philadelphia is going to stand pat either. Like I said, they got to sign Mekhi Becton, which I don't think they will. I think people are going to throw a lot of money at him. I think a lot of people are going to throw a lot of money at Josh Sweat, and this is the time for the guys to cash in. There's not going to be no loyalty bonuses, hometown discounts for guys. They get their ring, they go and they capitalize and go get their money. So there's not going to be any. They got to replace, as you mentioned, they have to replace the irreplaceable Kellen Moore. I don't know how you're going to find another. Jeez, oh, Pete. So, yeah, I think, and is there a rising power? Would you say Washington is a rising power in the NFC? Yeah, absolutely. Jaden Daniels has a very, very bright future ahead of him. But the Bucs beat them as well last year. I know it was Jaden's first game, but then they lost to him later in the season. But it's not like that's a team that's so much better than the Buccaneers. All these teams you got, I don't think you're going to be an underdog against, and if you are, it's no more than 3 points. So you should be able to win any of those games. So now it's a matter of coming up with good game plans, executing said game plans, managing the game, being aggressive, not giving up possessions, and leaving it to your crappy defense to try and win the game. That should be something that is no longer on the table until your defense proves otherwise. And I wouldn't even give them the chance to be quite honest, until there's a lot of evidence that says they're better. Now, Servassier Dennis is coming back. I think that'll be a huge help. I mean, when he played really well. That was the team. That was the defense that beat Detroit and was so incredible in the red zone. Probably an anomaly. Obviously, it was statistically, given what the defense did the rest of the season. But that was a game Servassier Dennis played, and they were more healthy back then, and that was a much different team. So, yeah, I think the Buccaneers are Super Bowl contenders. I don't think there's any question about it. And yes, this offseason will prove to be pivotal. pivotal, and we'll see what Jason Light does.
Well,
I like our chances.
And look, you and I have been watching football long enough to know that teams are different season to season.
Yeah, of
Just
course.
because the Commanders were good this year doesn't mean they're going to be good next year.
Right.
What do you do? You turn over 50% of the playoff teams every year.
Yep.
There's a reason for that, right?
Yep.
Look at Detroit. They lost both their coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to have an impact. Will it be a positive impact or a negative impact? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know maybe week 7 or 8 where the Lions are at. Do we think they'll be good? Yeah, of course we think they will be, but we don't know. We don't know about the Commanders. We don't know about the Falcons, the 49ers, all these teams we think are going to be good. And who knows with the Texans? Like, to me, the Texans are always, every season, they could go one way or the other.
Right.
CJ Stroud fell off a little bit last year. I blame that more on his offensive coordinator than I do on
injuries.
His ability.
Yeah, he lost Tank Dell. He lost
lost everybody.
The other big was Nico Collins for a stretch. Yeah.
So every year it's going to be a little bit different, and especially to throw Super Bowl odds up on February 10th, the day after the Super Bowl, when we haven't even hit free agency, we haven't had the draft. To me, I love it because we can sit here and talk about it, but it really is comical when you think about it. Think about how much these are going to change. I
finished up this year. I won a few dollars this year on all my football betting. So I'm going to take a little bit of that money and I'm going to put, probably $100 down on the Bucs at third plus 3,500. I think that's a great bet. Why would you bet now? You don't know what free agency is going to be, but these are the best odds I think you're going to get on the Bucs right now.
Probably so.
At 13th, I think they're a top. I think they could be a top 16, except for this issue that Michael LaRue brings down. Michael LaRue says the Bucs are not winning a Super Bowl with Todd Bowles. They struggle to win home playoff games. He ain't wrong. But let's hope that we get a more aggressive. He was more aggressive this year. Let's hand it to him. Much more aggressive on 4th down this year. Let's hope it's even more aggressive. Let's hope we go for 2. Let's hope we don't, play soft zone and let teams handle the ball for, 11 more minutes than you do, and you only get 7 possessions in a game and 44 plays. That's part of managing the game. You gotta, you gotta be better. Got to be better at that. Nathan Elliott says it's going to be Bucs and Dolphins in Spain during October. Oh, viva la Spain, España. If they're playing in Spain in October, man, I got to go to that.
Where are they playing? Madrid? Must be Madrid, huh?
I think it's Madrid, yeah. Yeah, Spain. I've never been to Spain.
I don't know. To me, it's sacrilegious to play American football in a soccer stadium. It just shouldn't happen. Can't do it.
You are old school. Latin Thinker says, hey, JP, any way to know what it will take for Tampa to get another Super Bowl? Yes. The NFL owes Tampa a chance to really host it after ours was preempted by COVID. Well, remember, we were given that Super Bowl because LA's stadium took an extra year. So we were it was kind of a gift. And then, with the COVID thing. And so, but I do remember there was some type of promise that we were going to get another one. What's it going to take? It's going to take some climate control. It's going to take some type of roof, something like they did in Miami in this upcoming stadium renovation plan, whatever that's going to be. The JP sliding roof over the baseball stadium,
drone
and
tarp.
then next door over the football stadium. We could do, or the drone tarp.
Sponsored drone tarp.
Sponsored drone tarp. Oh, it's such an incredibly amazing idea. Michael LaRue, good morning to you. It sounded like the Super Bowl halftime show, what just happened with Tim. Same words over and over again.
Gross.
They not like us 6 times in a row, multiple times. He's right. That's exactly what it sounded like. Go back and watch it. I can't
wait to go listen to it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Tom's like, leave that one on the replay. We're not editing it out. What are we?
That's a lot of work.
No. Well, we keep it true. All the stupid shit I say on the show, I never edit it out. It's all
the only thing I ever edit out on the audio is when we have a lot of blank space. Like if the internet hiccups and there's just dead space, I'll edit that out, but I don't ever edit anything out on the video. It just stays. That's a lot of work.
We are true. Bucs Basement, good morning to you. It doesn't matter who we get in free agency to improve the team. If Bowles does not improve on his fatal flaw as the head coach, he will cost the team games and likely their championship run. I like the way I do that.
Yeah.
That's my Bucs Basement voice. That's my Bucs Basement voice. I don't have much faith Bowles at the age of 61
basement.
is going to magically figure out the solution to time and game management because he sucked doing it as a Jets head coach. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Woof, woof. Bucs basement.
Oh, boy.
I'm making fun of you, but you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, brother. I'm with you. I'm
Not
with
wrong
you.
at all.
No. That's just
JP Ray Kennedy wants to know any plans for JP Peterson's show to be down at Ray's Fan Fest Saturday at the Pier in St. Pete. Unfortunately, Ray, JP doesn't work on Saturdays, so I don't know what to tell you. Unless it's
I
for the
work on
Lightning.
Saturdays, but not for the Rays. Yeah.
JP might never be invited to a Rays anything ever, so probably not happening.
You think, Ray Kennedy, you think it's a good idea that Public Enemy #1 shows up at Rays Fan Fest?
God, that'd be so great.
Maybe I should show up
You should walk around with a Stu Sternberg t-shirt with the clown nose.
with the clown nose. Yeah.
You gotta get those printed.
Wait a minute. What do I got going Saturday? That's something I can do on Saturday.
Probably golf, if I know you.
No, there's something important Saturday.
Be at the club. Gotta go to the club, have some drinks, and play some golf. That's JP's Saturday.
Well, actually, yeah, it's the Gasparilla Invitational final round.
See, there you go.
And then golf Sunday at Palma Seca. By the way, the Gasparilla Invitational is going on at Palma Seca. The best amateurs in the United States will be playing our illustrious 6,200-yard course, the hardest 6,200 yards you'll ever play in your life. And they'll play for 3 days, and the winning score will be probably in single digits, which is amazing because these players are, these are guys that freaking hit it 350 yards. It's crazy. So yeah, that's going on this week. So go check that out.
JP Rick says blank space and stupid S. Well, that makes this a 4-minute show.
Yikes. All right, quick break. When we come back, Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report is going to join us. And we're going to talk, are the Bucs a contender? Are they going to get Myles Garrett? All kinds of fun questions for the great Scott Reynolds. We are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. We are coming to you from the Jeeves Law Group studio in beautiful downtown South Tampa, South Howard. And they are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So if you have been in an accident, have any legal questions whatsoever, call the Jeeves Law Group. Go to their website, jeeveslawgroup.com, email them or call them and tell them JP sent you. They'll give a free case evaluation. Not attorney spokesperson, Office of St. Pete, Tampa. Back in 3 with Scott Reynolds.
Make this Valentine's Day a real hit by coming to Alessi Promotions Gloves and Roses, a night of professional boxing. We'll have something special for all the ladies. February 14th at the Downtown Hilton, experience professional boxing. Citrus County's own Drake Banks, a 7-0 heavyweight with 5 knockouts. And featuring our main event, an NBA title fight featuring undefeated Stephen Ray Jr. Get your tickets online at AlessiPromotions.com or scan the QR code and go directly to eTix.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. Welcome into a Tuesday. Live from the Jeeves Law Group studios in Dallas and Tampa. It's JP.
Yeah, I just got a message from Scott. We have a program change. Stand by.
Producing on the air.
Yes,
That's what we do.
Yeah, so we'll get him hopefully in the next hour.
Does he have breaking news he's covering that he needs to share with us?
No,
Or he stepped on a Lego?
Dog bite, I think. Dog bite.
It's all good. We'll wait.
Yeah.
I can tell you while we're waiting here, I would like to share this comment from Daniel Rivera.
Sure.
Brody Brazil just said to me on the race situation that if I don't see the precedent, he can't help. I cited Rosenthal's piece, something you've been saying for months on this.
Yeah, again, I don't know who Brody Brazil is, except he does really like nice looking videos.
Yeah.
But when he does them, it's basically just like reading a newspaper piece that we, from a week ago or something. It's not. There's nothing, and he asks questions, and so there's nothing insightful or new reporting that's going on here. So, I'm not denigrating him at all, but that's basically what every time I watch him, I'm like, wow, these things look really great, and he gets lots of views. But it's not necessarily very insightful or new information.
JP, according to Wikipedia, Brody Brazil has won 13 regional Emmy Awards.
Well, there you go. Yeah, he's a very good broadcaster. The dude is fantastic. He's a great broadcaster. But just in terms of, gleaning anything, or he doesn't offer any opinions. Like he's not an opinionated a-hole like me.
Right. He just reads straight news.
Yeah, just, basically a news anchor. What a lot of people do these days is what do you call it? Coagulate the news. There's another word I'm missing here. And then regurgitate it out on your platform. This is basically what a lot of these websites do. And now video people are doing the same thing. So it's all in the presentation, it's all in the algorithms, and for a lot of people, that's new information. A lot of it's new information But if you're learned on the subject like Daniel is, or anybody who watches this show, there's never, at least in my experience, there's never been anything really new in there. So, and he doesn't offer any opinions. It's very, vanilla. So good. Like I said, tremendous production, not denigrating him at all. Just not
which we had his production value.
We need to point to. Yes, absolutely.
Rick says Scott Reynolds has been delayed at his hair salon.
That's very true. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to put that out, but it's worth it. I mean, have you seen the hair? It's worth like if it's going to take some time.
It's amazing.
Yeah. We'll see if we can move Anthony Becht up and then get Scott at 11:30. So let me see if Anthony can get on a little bit earlier here. So you entertain the people while I text you two things at one time.
No, it's all good.
I'm not going to fake it to you people and whistle out my ass.
We have some controversy in the MLB Hall of Fame.
Oh, yes.
As we have 5 going in, and the controversy always arises because especially nowadays and going back to the guys that are getting in the Hall of Fame, they played for multiple teams.
Mm-hmm.
So the controversy always arises when the guy goes in, well, what cap will be on his skull in the Hall of Fame?
Not no cap, but What cap?
Right.
Like the cap
So,
kids say, right.
for instance, Ichiro Suzuki
Mhm.
going in, of course he's going to wear a Mariners cap. There's
Mhm.
no question. Billy Wagner pitched for 5 different teams. He's going in as a disastro.
Astro. Yeah. Like I'm
Where's-
like,
as we call him in
name, I'll
Texas.
tell you
they're
what
the-
hat they should wear. And I don't
Right.
even know how many years they played at each. It's just like this will be my
right.
overall thought. Yeah. Ichiro's a Mariner, not a
Right.
Yankee.
Dave Parker played for 6 teams in his 19-year career.
He's a pirate. He's a pirate.
Yep, he played 11 for the Pirates. He's
We are
going
family.
in.
Yeah.
Dick Allen, he was on the Classic Era Committee. He's going in as a Phillies.
Oh, Phillies?
As a Philly, yeah. He played with the Phillies for 9 seasons.
Yeah, that's
so.
right. Yeah.
So
I'm thinking of Rick
CC
Allen.
Sabathia. Here's where our
Right.
controversy
CC
arises.
Sabathia is a Yankee.
CC Sabathia is a Yankee. However, like I associate him more as an Indian, if we're allowed to say that, because
On
that's
this
just
show,
where he
yes, you are.
came
The
up.
Indians don't mind.
Right, exactly. I agree. So to me, that's just how I associate him more as. But of course, he had most of his success as a Yankee. Of course, he had his 20-win season as a Yankee,
Mm-hmm.
and has more wins as a Yankee than an Indian. So to me, though, it's an Indian, but he's going in a Yankees hat. Okay, which is, to me, that's not controversial unless you live in Cleveland.
Right.
Here's the controversial part, and everyone knows me. Everyone that knows me knows I love baseball. I love the history of the game.
Yeah.
Did you know that a player doesn't get to pick what cap goes on his head in the Hall of Fame?
I did know that. Yes, I did know that.
I did not know that. I thought that
I
the
did
player
not
got
know
to
that.
pick. I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Yes. So apparently the player does have input, but he doesn't get to go like CC Sabathia couldn't go to the Hall of Fame and go, yeah, I want to be an Indian. I mean, they'll obviously take that into account if he had a desire of one or the other. But apparently the Hall of Fame gets to say, no, we want you to be an Indian, or we want you to be a Yankee, or we want you to be a whatever.
That's weird. That's weird. The players should be able to pick. What are we doing here?
That's what you would think, man. In that case, there's never going to be a Texas Ranger in the Hall of Fame.
The baseball writers think very highly of themselves.
They do.
They really do. The baseball writers of America, they think of themselves, especially the ones that are the gatekeepers to Cooperstown. Yeah. They
So
think
did
very
you know
highly of
this?
themselves.
Did you know that there are players in the Hall of Fame that have a blank cap?
I did know that too.
Mike Messina, 10 seasons with the Orioles, 8 with the Yankees. He was wearing a blank baseball hat.
Now that's
baseball
weird.
cap.
That's weird.
Fred McGriff, Roy Halladay, Greg Maddux, Tony La Russa, Jim Leyland, all wearing blank caps. In the
Fred
Hall of
McGriff has a blank hat?
Fame. Yep. How crazy
Is
that?
it like the one he wore in the Tom Amansky video?
I don't know. Maybe
I think it is. Yeah.
that would
big
be funny.
hat too. That's a big hat.
The big tall
Big
hats
tall
from back
hat.
then.
Oh yeah. That's a big
I
tall
hated
hat.
those. They made the players look taller though.
You know what? I need to get the crime dog on and ask him about that.
Yeah.
See what they should do now in Cooperstown, which they never will because it's a very traditional place.
Yep.
Have you ever been there?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Several times.
That is a really cool Hall of Fame.
It is.
That is a really
It's the
cool Hall of
best.
Fame.
It's the best.
I was very impressed. It's very, very nostalgic, very old and traditional.
Mm-hmm.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm a little. I think it could be a hell of a lot better than it is.
You know the problem with
really
the Pro
do.
Football Hall of Fame, number one,
It's in Canton.
well, it's in Canton. Yeah, the Bulldogs aren't even around anymore. What are we doing? But it's just it grew so fast, and they added on to the building so
Yeah.
much. It's just
It
seems
feels
like it's
choppy. Yeah.
very choppy. And to me, it's almost geared towards kids more than anything.
Yeah.
Like I kind of get that impression, which is
Yeah.
great. Which is great. You just have to know that going into it. But the Baseball Hall of Fame, though, man, that's to me. I feel like I'm walking through a museum, through a freaking church. Almost.
Yeah, it is. It is really well done. It's super well done. Yeah. Whereas the Pro Football Hall of Fame gives me more like a the downtown Tampa History Center feel.
Right.
You know, no.
disrespect. It's just like it feels like a community place than more than an NFL Hall of Fame. Like it's a very distinctively designed building, which is cool, but it's kind of small. And then it's, like you said, it's kind of choppy, the additions that they've made to it. So, but still a great, if you got to go, if you're a sports fan, you got to go, especially since the Bucs are so well represented.
Yeah.
Really. And the history of the game is told very well. I will say that. Once you get in the exhibits inside, I think really well. I will still say that, if you go bust by bust and just try to do it by sight, like who they are, I don't think it's very hard to replicate people's faces in bronze. I think, like some of them, I'm like, that looks nothing like the person. That looks
right.
Like Rondé loves his. I tend to, and who doesn't? But I'm like, I don't really think it looked that much like you. I don't know. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do,
man. You just got to take it for what it's worth. But did you know? So I've been to let's see. I've been to two terrible halls of fame in my time that are the absolute worst. One of them pains me to no end because it is the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto.
I've never been to that one. Never been to that.
Dude, it's in a mini mall. It's a freaking mini mall.
What?
Yes, it's inside a mall. It's the worst.
What are they, the Hartford Whalers?
Hockey Hall of Fame. Dude, I wish the Whalers would come back.
They played in the mall, by the way, for those who don't know the reference.
They did play in a mall.
Yeah.
They're in
Rick Peckham called those games there at the mall.
Hartford Civic Center.
Catch a hockey game and get a pretzel at the Orange Julius.
So the other worst Hall of Fame I've ever been to, and it's literally across the street from my house, is the Soccer Hall of Fame.
The Soccer Hall of Fame is across the Soccer Hall of Fame is in Dallas, Texas.
It's in Frisco at the FC Dallas Stadium. Yeah,
really?
That's the International Soccer Hall of Fame. They built it onto the stadium there after about 10 years after they built the stadium, they built it. And to me, it's like because I don't know any of it, like they could have made up all of these names and I would never know. I just don't like Pele's not in it. Like where's Pele?
You know what? The College Football Hall of Fame in downtown Atlanta, really good. Really good.
See, I haven't been to that one, but I will tell you, the best Hall of Fame I have ever been to in my life is in Arlington, Texas. JP, it is the International Bowlers Hall of Fame.
Why did I know you were going bowlers?
It's the Bowling Hall of Fame is in Arlington, and it is freaking awesome. And not that I know any of those guys either. Who was the dude from the 80s? Pete, whatever his name was, that had the big afro that was all
Don
animated.
Carter. Oh, yeah, the Jufro.
The Jufro. Yeah.
Who was
Don
that guy?
Carter? He's from Dallas.
Don Carter. Yeah, who's that other guy? The great. I don't know. I used to watch Bowling for Dollars. Bowling for Dollars was great. Yeah, that was fantastic.
We had that here. You know who hosts? 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 You know who hosts?
Oh my God, you did it again.
You know who hosts? 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 You know who hosts?
Out. Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
What the hell is that? You guys, we're going to tune in just to wait to see when that happens again. It's Kendrick Lamar. They ain't like us. They ain't like us. Oh, my God. By the way, I did, yesterday I went down the rabbit hole on the Kendrick Lamar.
What the
crap? They ain't like us. You're back on. At least we can hear you anyway. So I went down the rabbit hole on the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl show and found out some things that we talked a little bit about this, and I knew basically the framework of what he was doing. Was the diss track on Drake, obviously, who came out last night with holes in his shirt and smoke coming out of him. So it was not only that we talked about the diss on, but it was the shot at the pedos and the globalists and all that. And, a lot of it, what he was talking about was the divide in America, but not the usual bitching and moaning about the divide in America, but who's dividing us and why they're dividing us.
Right.
The media, the deep state, all of this, and why they're in black performers being used to distract not only the black constituents, but the entire nation. Like you're the performers. You distract us from all the other corruption and everything that else is going on, and we're using you in like puppets. And this whole very deep thing that Kendrick Lamar talks about a lot. And it's funny. I saw a clip of Ana Navarro on The View. That woman has to be the dumbest effing woman on television. Like, my God.
Bad.
And she's sitting there going, Trump's going to ban black people from this Super Bowl. Like in the audience, yeah, that's what he's going to do. Oh, yeah, he's horrible. And then talking about how empowering black people, empowering all this. It's like, it's not what was going on, Anna. I know it's way over your head that you can't even conceive this, but that's not what the message was. You're cheering a message and you don't even know what the F it was. And it was exactly opposite of what you think it is. Your part, he's the one he was making fun of. You're the one that he's making fun of. The people that try to label and divide constantly and use blacks, Hispanics, and race bait politics and identity politics to divide us. That's what he was railing against. You moron. Just ridiculous. So, and I put that up on Facebook and got a lot of little thoughtful comments. And I, to a point, I agree with this. And what I said yesterday, this is not a place, the Super Bowl halftime show is not a place for a political statement like that.
Yeah.
It's for an iconic band with songs everybody knows that, appeals to a wide swath of people. That said, I do think that this is a crucial time, not in our country's history, but in world history. I think it's an absolutely crucial time. And messages like that need to be out there. And to a degree, yes, absolutely, there is a great awakening going on. There's no question about it. The people are waking up of all races, colors, and creeds. They're understanding that we have been used and abused by these elites. And I'm not going to get too far into it, but that's what this was all about. And this message is, we're a bigger stage to put this out and have people like me talking about it and opening other people like, that thought it was one thing. And, and all the people like me, old white guys, where the first few, oh, this is stupid. This is the worst thing ever. And on the surface, it was. There's no question about it. And I think it's an absolutely valid argument that I don't, I'm half in the bag eating French onion dip. I don't need a freaking lecture. This is a Super Bowl halftime show. And I'm totally on board with that thought process. But I do think the only thing that trumps that, pun intended, is the importance of the message in the time that it's in. So for the most part, I'm with you. Give me my freaking Bruce Springsteen, although he's divisive now too. Give me the Snoop Dogg one was fantastic. I thought that was one of the best Super Bowl shows. Iconic figures, iconic songs, iconic beats. That's what everybody knows. But this time, at this particular moment, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, especially if it gets people talking and they understand what he was saying. And I think the fact that it was so different on its face to what it actually was, like Born in the USA is not a patriotic song. It's a protest song.
Yep.
And I think that's brilliant art when people think it's one thing and it's actually absolutely the other. Yeah. And they have to think about it and they have to learn about it. And they have to, and when they put that effort in, they go, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. So I realized that back in I think it was the 1984 presidential election when Ronald Reagan tried to use it as his campaign song, Born in the USA. And I think they used it once without permission. And Bruce Springsteen, who's a very, very devout left Democrat, nixed it. And he goes, y'all are dumb because y'all don't even know what the song's about. And that's when I learned it was a pro. Oh my God! Here you go again. It was a pro. Learned 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 it was a pro.
Can I take you out? Let me see. I don't like he had. Yeah, I think I can.
Can you hear me?
I got you now. What the hell are you doing? John Hill says it's shot time.
I'm here. I don't know what's happening.
You need to do a fireball.
I don't have any
one on your
here.
computer. Yeah.
Dude, I need to do something with that. But anyway,
Says,
so
well,
I don't understand
K dot. Yeah.
What's K dot.
B says rumor has it JP was on Stu's yacht for the Super Bowl double agent. Yeah. How about B? B used to be an a-hole, and now B's nice.
He's bringing
B's
it.
Fun.
He's bringing it.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it. We won him over.
So a little bit of history for the people who may not remember, who weren't born yet. JP, do you remember why we have big production Super Bowl halftime shows?
No, why, Tim?
The 1991 season.
El Doritos?
It was the 1991 season, I believe. So the Super Bowl early 92, which I believe was the Bills Redskins. Maybe?
Was that the Tampa one? Was that Whitney Houston's?
No, because they used to not do big production halftime shows. That was a Cowboys Super Bowl that she did that at. I think it was the next year in California.
Oh, she sang that in Tampa.
Oh, did she? Okay, sure. Maybe it was then. So in the 91 season, 92 Super Bowl, I believe Bills Redskins, Fox, their big show at the time was In Living Color, the sketch comedy show.
Oh God, I love that show.
They
One
decided,
of the first really irreverent shows, yeah.
In order to compete in whatever little capacity they could with the Super Bowl, during halftime of the Super Bowl, they ran a live 30-minute episode of In Living Color.
Oh, that's right. Apparently, I remember that, yeah.
Like 11 million people tuned out of the Super Bowl to go to In Living Color and never came back. So I think it was CBS at the time. They were like, okay, well, we can't do this. And the NFL was pissed.
Yeah.
So the NFL's like, well, then we have to give them a reason to stay tuned in at halftime.
Right.
And the very next year, I forgot who it was, the first big show, that's when they started doing that, just to keep people from tuning out at halftime of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the first one was. I want to say it was like Up With People or some stupid thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like by today's standards, it was nothing. But at the time,
Yeah. Rick says the Wayne Gretzky Sparrow and Orange Julius. The Sparrow.
That's about exactly how it is.
Your famous mall foods. Famous mall foods for 1,000 guys. Fill up the comments. Famous mall foods. Orange Julius was our go-to. Yeah, and they had that one in the Hollywood Mall. As growing up, they make those orange frozen orange drinks.
Yeah,
like orange whips. Oh, so freaking good. And then they had the thin pizza, slice of pizza, and orange whip for like 99 cents.
Here you go, JP. Here you go. So that 92 Super Bowl was at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Your halftime show that year was Gloria Estefan, Olympic figure skaters Brian Boitano and Dorothy Hamill, 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, the University of Minnesota marching band. All right, that's when everybody tunes out and they go watch In Living Color and don't come back. Next year,
that's some wholesome white shit right there.
The very next season, the NFL said the NFL said F that, you guys, and they went for the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. They got Michael Jackson.
Oh God, yeah, they were showing some clips of that. Yeah.
So, and then then they just started doing it. So,
yeah.
But yeah, before that, it was New Kids on the Block, Disney characters, Warren Moon, 2,000 Children on stage, and they was marching bands, right? It was always marching bands.
Christopher Cole says, ban The View from ABC TV.
God,
no, never. Please, never. They're the greatest. They are the greatest advertisement for the left ever. Are you kidding me? It's the best thing ever. Go turn that thing on. You just go, my God. How much money are they getting paid for this to be this freaking stupid? It's insane. They just
sound like idiots. They always have. They've always sounded idiotic.
And then everybody claps. They're like, ah.
Those people watching that show don't even know what they're talking about. I guarantee you.
Daniel Rivera says Larry Kenny hosted that show for a while in New York. Used to watch it when I was a kid. The Bowling for Dollars. Yeah. So
I think that's what I was on whenever I got bumped off the screen by someone. It was Vern Lundquist hosted it here in Dallas because he was our local Channel 8 ABC affiliate.
Did he really? Vern Lundquist. Oh my God.
He was our sports anchor, and he also did Cowboys play-by-play back in the 70s. So
love it. Rick says no politics at the Super Bowl, ? Exactly. Like an NFL commercial showing women can compete versus men in sports. That was just the worst, this divisive, awful stuff. Like whoever came up with that needs to be fired. That is exactly, and that's quintessential NFL right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly ridiculous.
Yep.
Thomas Casper says Springsteen Super Bowl in Tampa had no lessons. No lessons. 10th Avenue freeze out, play video, born to run in the end. I can't even read this. You're going to have to help me out with that one.
10th Avenue freeze out, play video, born to run, play video, working on a dream, partial, play video, glory days, partial. Yeah.
I think he was trying to put some links in there or something. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was great. Springsteen's halftime show. Very, very, songs, iconic tunes. Yeah, doing your thing.
Sometimes I can separate. Sometimes, not often, I can separate a performer or an actor from their political views. Right. Sometimes I can do that. Not every time. I can with Springsteen for some reason. I'm okay.
You can't. Yeah, I can't. Michael Sorgo said, wasn't Lingerie League once a halftime show? I think it was a competition.
Yeah.
It was the alternative programmings. I remember and that was a big deal. People tuned millions of people tuned over. I still don't understand how that league didn't make it. Everything you want in the American men love.
They needed a big TV deal.
Yeah. It's like, how did that not work?
I don't know. I can imagine every women's organization shutting it down though.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of that, but
yeah. Chicks were hot.
And the man show. I mean, like the man show. There was once a man show. And
can you imagine?
Jimmy Kimmel was the host.
Can you imagine Jimmy Kimmel doing something like that now? He would die first.
No, he gets paid too much by USAID. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side, and Anthony Becht's going to join us. Lots to talk about with Anthony, head coach of the UFL Battle Hawks, interviewed for the West Virginia job. He's going to be a college coach soon. He lost his offensive coordinator, the great Bruce Gradkowski, and his son Rocco, winning the Pop-Tarts Bowl. All kinds of fun stuff to talk about with the great Anthony Becht. Stay with us. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Hey guys, why not kick off 2025 by popping the question? Yes, and you know where to get that perfect engagement ring. It's the Gold and Diamond Source. The best prices, the best quality, and yes, get her a real diamond. You don't want to go with the fake stuff. And January's birthstone is garnet for all you FSU fans, right? Get 15% off all the unforgettable garnet jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source. Also, discover Emilique by Emily Johnson Weintraub, a sleek and modern jewelry line that makes everyday gifts extraordinary. And don't forget, you have any unused gold? Turn it into cash or a stunning new piece. With gold prices soaring, there's no better time to trade up. You can do it all at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
This Valentine's Day, a real hit by coming to Alessi Promotions Gloves and Roses, a night of professional boxing. We'll have something special for all the ladies. February 14th at the Downtown Hilton, experience professional boxing. Citrus County's own Drake Banks, a 7-0 heavyweight with 5 knockouts. And featuring our main event, an NBA title fight featuring undefeated Stephen Ray Jr. Get your tickets online at AlessiPromotions.com or scan the QR code and go directly to eTix.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And don't forget the Valentine's buy one, get one 40% off promotion is going on right now at the Gold and Diamond Source. Celebrate love with timeless elegance. Express your love with exquisite jewelry from the Gold and Diamond Source. Of course, they have only natural diamonds. It takes billions of years to form natural diamonds. You don't want something that was made in a factory 2 weeks ago. Does that really express your love? A fake diamond? Hell to the no. Don't get a fake diamond. Get a real one. And you got to go to the Gold and Diamond Source to make sure you know what you're getting is what you're getting. You can trust them. They've been in business for 40 years. And they make it easy for you guys, us idiots, us Neanderthals. You just drive in, you go in there with your budget, tell them what you want to spend or something like it. They'll find something for you because you don't know what to get. And then they wrap it up really nicely. You bring it to your love, and it's awesome. You're the winner. Just go do it. Buy one, get one 40% off. It's really easy. One for yourself, one for her, or two for her. Just make it work. 40% off at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Anthony Becht, coach of your UFL St. Louis Battlehawks, papa of the great Rocco Becht. What's up, man? How are you?
Everything's fantastic. Good to be on, fellas. Life is good. Just you got a couple weeks here before training camp starts and kind of, listening through the coaching cycle and all different things over the last couple months and ready to rock and roll.
So the coaching cycle, I bet you had a lot of offers and a lot of things to look at. And I guess going through the interviews is all part of the process too, Anthony, right? So what was that like? What can you tell us?
Yeah, obviously the one confirmed interview I had was an initial first interview for the West Virginia head job. It was a Zoom first round. I'm a touch me, feel me, see me kind of guy, but it went well, and wasn't given the opportunity to come back and come in person. So, look, this is an interesting business. It's you really do have to build your network and have some type of close relationship. And again, I've continued to do that throughout the years. But it's you got to get in when the opportunity's there, and if it's a good opportunity. Again, being a head coach, number one, has been great. Having a really good team, the league is good, and being able to do the other things I want to do as well, right? I can see Rocco play. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of positives with the schedule that I have for the year. So, again, when that time comes and when there's something legitimate, obviously that's when a real conversation will be had. But, right now it's just, hey, I want everybody to know just that, and we've had that conversation before, that I'm serious about what I'm doing and just,
Absolutely.
Continue to build my resume. Again, big picture, I'm a third-year head coach. So, just keep pushing along and getting better.
With some great success too. I mean, you guys have kicked ass in this league. What do you got, a 700 winning percentage as a coach? Is that right?
So far, yes.
That's pretty damn good
so far. So yeah, that's nice. I'd like to continue that trend up, 7 games out of 10. And then of course, the playoff game, we got there last year and, try to take that next step this year. And, so yeah, it's been going well, and that's what's important, is continue to grow. And there is listen, it's not easy to win in our league consistently because there is a ton of turnover. We got new quarterbacks. I mean, there's just a lot going on in our league. So just continuing to kind of work through. I lost my offensive coordinator last week to the Lions. Yeah. So, I mean, and I got a couple other coaches, quite frankly, that are still on the docket for a couple of other guys. So again, just managing through that. There's a lot going on. So it does push the envelope a little bit about, you don't have that comfort level that you would have in a normal process. And, it's teaching me on the move decision making, which is good. I like it.
Well, let's talk about your quarterbacks a little bit, Anthony, moving into the season. Maybe the most notable name on the roster, at least from what I can see on the rosters. It's not super easy to find accurate information, unfortunately, on the UFL, because I follow the UFL pretty regularly. But on the UFL website, it looks like you guys have the kid out of Arizona State, Manny Wilkins, Cordero out of San Jose State, and then maybe the most notable name, especially from here in the DFW area, out of TCU, Max Duggan. Any thoughts on the quarterback room heading into the season?
Well, one, I'm extremely grateful for what AJ brought to the table in the first 2 years. He was exactly what I needed. I had to establish myself as a coach. It's nice to have that presence at the position, and it did help streamline a lot of stuff, and it did equal to a really high level of in-season wins. But yeah, I'm excited about the room. We diligently looked at, 50 plus quarterbacks. The window is small, right, for a lot of these guys. And then you can even go in the deeper depths of looking at, smaller school guys that have had really good careers. But, Manny comes back because of his experience in our system. He's played in 3-4 games for us in the last 2 years. And, just having the ability to understand what we're doing. Now, we will have a new coordinator, but, everything will stay within the framework of our system. But adding Max was a big key. He's a guy that was drafted in 2023 with the Chargers. He was there the entire season. Then there with Harbaugh when he came in last year through training camp and was released ultimately right at the end of training camp. But, again, uber talented, big arm, winner, great intangibles. And played in a national championship a couple of years ago, and again can run the football. All these guys are athletic, and then Chevin Cordero is more of our developmental player, and he's really just a lot, very good statistical college career, 12,000 yards passing, I think 100 total touchdowns. So he'll be able as a young guy to develop as well. So we're going to let them duke it out and see what happens, and may the best man win.
How does that work, Anthony, when you guys, of course, the league being owned by the teams being owned by the league and things like that, when you see a player somewhere that you're interested in, do they have to agree to terms with the league first and then they divvy him out to the teams, or can you just go get a player to sign him to your team without the rest of the league having access to him?
So there's a couple avenues. One we do the first thing we did in the offseason, we had a draft early in the summer. That draft was encompassing all mini camp, 2024 class. Well, I guess 2025. No, it was 2024 class draft guys that were in mini camp this past year that didn't get signed onto the roster or that did. So if some guys signed some practice squad or opportunities, if they were to get released, then you could draft them. So you got 10 picks as a team. Some teams went all in on guys that were like drafted that were signed that, hey, if they get released, we got their rights. And then some would pick, some random. So, half of those guys that we picked were available to us if we wanted to capture them and bring them on the team. Then after that, it's free agency. Now, when training camp comes, we're all allocated 4 teams in the NFL, each team. We have the rights to those players that get released through December 1st. After December 1st, it's full-on free agency. So we're allowed to basically recruit anybody we want, and that's basically how it is. So it's more free agency, just trying to persuade a player to come play for you, what you can offer, and trying to find those right pieces to come back. And then all the players from the year before are signed to you. You have their rights until you release them, which is right around now. So if we want to get rid of the guys we haven't decided to bring back, we can open them up to free agency, and they're free to sign whoever they want.
Gotcha.
Well, Skip Holtz, my best friend's brother-in-law, just wanted to say hi and say you're not beating him ever. He's got a 3-peat going.
It's a challenge. There's no doubt. I mean, Skip has some talented players. He will not have his returning quarterback, but he'll have his quarterback that won the championship 2 years ago, Alex Magoo, who's a local Tampa product. Yeah, I mean, listen, we gave them their best game last year. We just didn't get the payment. We didn't get another shot in the playoffs. We had to beat Wade Phillips 3 times in a row, and we lost the last game. So it was a challenge. But yeah, we're looking forward to the opportunity again this year to play them.
Hey, let me ask you about. I'm sure you went to the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which is a great bowl with kind of a silly name, but it was an incredible finish. And Rocco takes the team 84 yards, gets the game-winning touchdown. I mean, what's that like watching your son and then playing in the Big 12 championship game as well? That didn't go as well, but I mean, that was a big stage to play on, to beat Miami in that moment with Cam Ward on the sideline. We can talk about that. What was that like watching that whole thing unfold?
No, listen, I mean, Rocco had another tremendous year. Just super proud of what he did. I think he had 4 or 5 comeback win drives, whatever that may be. And then one of them, they came back and they just weren't able to hold on against Texas Tech on the last drive that they had. And listen, he went blow for blow with Cam Ward in the first half. So it was a 3-point game at that point, and then they were able to kind of pull it out at the end. Yeah, the Big 12 championship, just a unique opportunity. You're in a Power 4 conference championship game as a second-year quarterback, and the game started pretty good. It was very good, competitive. Some turnovers, fumbles. It's tough to tackle that running back. It got ugly, and it was what it was. But to get there, you get a taste of it. So,
Incredible.
yeah, I mean, listen, man, like he's representing Tampa at a high level. It's great to see him do it. I'm proud of him. And listen, man, he's taking the next steps now. These are the steps now where it starts to get, next level for him. He's laid the foundation, and now it's just how do I improve from the foundation and start building upwards to whatever he wants. And listen, he's driven to be great. He wants to be the best to ever leave that building. And obviously he's got goals and aspirations this year, next year, and moving forward, potentially at his professional level if it happens for him.
How does this team look this year? I mean, they get to the Big 12 championship game last year. Is this team as good? I mean, obviously with Rocco coming back, you got a huge head start. Matt Campbell is still there. I mean, what the hell are they doing in Ames, Iowa? I mean, FSU's got 10 times the resources. We suck at football and basketball. Iowa State's in the top 10 in both. Like, how the hell is Iowa State doing this? Everybody else should be ashamed.
What's in the water at Ames?
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt. Listen, I mean, if you look at the ACC and the Big 12 football wise, you'd say, yeah, those are 2 leagues you would want to go to and play where you have a realistic chance of winning every single year if you're in a top tier of the teams. They just have a great culture, stability. They still recruit and develop. And they also are into the portal. They've got in there in a way that they feel makes sense to them. The kids that go there, they work hard. They always get overachievers to play there. And, you really can't trade that off. Now they do have a lot of players coming back. They had a ton of players now. They were down to their 10th string linebackers last year. I mean, they got some dudes coming back, which will be great. And listen, they got 2 NFL receivers that are kind of lighting it up at the Senior Bowl. Everybody's talking about Higgins and Knoll. And they have to be replaced. And they were very, very proactive and really allowing me, like sending me 20 plus receivers to look at and evaluate and give me my opinion about them, which I really respected. And again, I don't push any of that stuff on them. But ultimately, they got 2 guys that we all felt that were the best 2 available. And quite frankly, they were the 2 guys, a local kid, Xavier X from Berkeley, who played running back there, who went to UCF, and then Chase Soul at ECU, East Carolina. They both have really productive years, and they both fit the mold. Nice. And they both had 5 visits to SEC schools after Iowa State, and they canceled all 4 of them. So they didn't let them leave the building. So it's, again, man, it's if the kids are smart, like we got a quarterback here, those things are important. And they can pay these guys. They have money too, so they're not going to overpay, but they're going to make it like, listen, there's a lot to build into the value of what you're getting, and I think that was important. So look, they've done a good job, and they'll be there again. They'll be at the top again, and they'll make another run. And again, nobody will probably pick them, and they'll just continue to trend on like they do.
I got to ask you, would you let or would Rocco ever sit for half at a bowl game when his team needs him, like Cam Moore did. I understand it. You understand it probably better than anybody. You were a first-round pick. But I don't see how you can just sit on a sideline and watch your team just when they need and the other quarterback can't get out of his own way. I mean, how the hell does that? I mean, fans must watch that, or certainly I did. And I said, and I get it. I understand it, but it's just watching it and just with my own eyes, it was unbelievable. I just could not fathom it. Would you let Rocco do that? Would he ever want to do that?
I would say he wouldn't. Listen, I wish there was more clarity on the plan from Miami, from the head coach.
That's probably the best.
I just felt like there was a lot of what's the plan? Just say it so everybody knows, But I also understand, even with the plan, it's a 3-point game at half. You've already played, and you're coming out. You're thinking, man, it may be tough pill to swallow not to go back, and you may have another conversation with coach. And say, hey, listen, I just want to finish the game out. And then it is what it is. But I just think there's just a lack of transparency of just telling, whether it, the head coach, just what's the plan? Just tell us how you want to do it. And everybody's clear. There was just a lot of questions and it made everybody look bad. And it starts at the top, man. I don't know if Rocco probably wouldn't, but everything gets talked about. It would have been a discussion. And, I think at the end of the day, the player is going to do what's best for the player. Everybody's different. And I can't speak for my son, but he's a competitor and so is Cam. So again, I just don't think it was explained properly on what the plan was, and it made everybody look bad.
That's probably your spot.
Good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he should have played at all, but it was such a bad look for college football. All right. So what's I got to get your take too on the Super Bowl. What the hell happened to Patrick Mahomes? I want to give full credit. I don't want to be that guy that's always bitching about what people didn't do and not give credit to what was done, because I think the Eagles had a great game plan. They executed great. But Mahomes just looked out of sorts. I don't know if he hit his head early on. I know he hit his head. I don't know if it affected him or whatever. But that was a bit surprising. But the Eagles that was a hell of an effort by them.
It was. Look, this was not a great matchup, in my opinion, even heading into the game for the Chiefs, because of, the Chiefs offensive line and the defensive line was clearly it was an abomination really across the board. Just a dominating effort, and Pat never got into a groove. And I think for Andy's sake, I just don't know over 2 weeks, and, he's the greatest play caller, if not the best ever, that he really accounted for the disasters that could happen. And how do you kind of deter that? Now, running 7 times in the game from running back standpoint blows my mind. Quick passes, receiver stuff, Xavier Worthy not really getting involved really early enough. Pacheco, he looked like he had some bounce and pop, and he wasn't really used. Kelsey's not the same dude. Everybody's like, oh, you just roll out and they'll find each other. Well, they had a plan for that too, right? So. Pat wasn't on, and it's unfortunate, but I think it starts in the trenches, man. Just both sides. It was a mismatch across the board, and quite frankly, if I really dove into it even more, I probably would have. This probably has the chance to get ugly, but from an execution standpoint, very high. Eagles offensively, defensively, the players executed, and those are the things that you can't control as a coach. You can give the information. You can exemplify the effort that you want to see. Clearly, it's a Super Bowl. You shouldn't have to do that. But, I think effort was easy. It's the execution part that's always, even with Vic Fangio, as well as a game plan he could have prepared, everybody's got to do it, right? And that's what happens when they do it. You see great athletes, the highest level, do it right. It's pretty amazing. And I'm just trying to get that done every single day with my team. And if we do it, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It looks like that. And that's the goal of every coach on, how to get that science of players executing at a higher level.
Anthony, last NFL offseason, you and I talked here on the show about the new dynamic kickoff that they adopted sort of from the XFL. I was excited about it. You were excited about it. However, they kind of only did it halfway. where they went with the dynamic kickoff, but they did not adopt the onside kick substitute, 4th and 15, 4th and 20, whatever. I feel like we kind of got ripped off from some possibilities throughout the season. And I certainly think that came into play for the Chiefs when they scored with 43 seconds left in the third quarter. You can't kick an onside kick now until the fourth quarter. So had they scored 43 seconds later, they would have had an opportunity. Now we know, because with the dynamic kickoff, you have to declare the onside kick because it's an entirely different formation, which I absolutely hate. But had they had that 4th and 15 or 4th and 20, whatever rule
that's interesting.
It goes with the dynamic kickoff, the Chiefs are in a much different position, and a lot of teams throughout the season are in a much different position. Not that the Chiefs probably would have done anything with it the way they were playing and the way Philly was playing defense, but it would have been fun to see them line up to have that option, from the 25 or whatever, a 4th and 15, 4th and 20, whatever, to continue the little bit of momentum to get that and to try to make a run at, you're down 5 scores, 34-6, whatever. But I would just like to have that opportunity in the future. If the NFL is going to continue with that, which it sounds like they are, I would like to see them adopt that onside kick substitute. Have you heard anything, or do you know anything inside about if they're considering that, or if we're just going to continue with the way it is?
Yeah, no. How exciting would it have been? I think it's a great play.
Yeah.
Now, in our league, you can't use it till the fourth quarter either, so that would have nullified that opportunity. But in the fourth quarter, now we're 4th and 12, which is crazy, right? It was 4th and 15 my first year. Then they moved it to 4th and 12, which is like, man, that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Now the NFL has been trying to adopt a 4th and 20. That's kind of where they're starting, which again, they're trying to match up the percentages of getting the onsides versus that.
Right.
And listen, it's going to be, it'll happen. There's too much excitement with it. It makes a blowout kind of look interesting.
Yeah.
And hell, we've converted 2 of those in 2 years. And it helped us win the first game of the inaugural season of 2023.
How about that?
Yeah. So, I thought I was going to get fired because we only had 3 points with 1:30 seconds left in the game. It was 15.
You really like that rule, don't you?
Listen, a minute 28 it was 15-3, and we won 18-15.
Holy shit!
Imagine that.
So you used it. It was 4th and 12 or 4th and 15. You used it. You got it.
We scored on the drive. We went for 3. We got the 3-point conversion.
Oh, I like that too.
And then we went for the 4th and 15, and we converted that. And then, of course, we went down and scored. Yep. So, it went from smiles from Hines Ward, who was the coach of San Antonio that year, to tears. And it changed. I mean, it kind of cost them. But, it's going to come. I think the NFL, again, uses us for a lot of these like examples. And I just think, like, for them, it's like, what's reasonable? What's the depth? Like, what's the yardage that makes sense? I think 20 is a little crazy. I think 15 is that's a tough completion, So, I think it'll come. And the dynamic kickoff, for us, we actually didn't use it last year. We went away from it. Yeah. I was the catalyst of bringing it back. Good. So we are doing that this year.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. And again, they'll probably move it back 5 more yards in the NFL just to guarantee, or not guarantee, guys can still kick it through, but that was talked about maybe happening after preseason, and they never did it.
They should have done it.
Make sure a guy comes out and returns it, So
they should have done it.
It's people were kind of mixed. I think it was new for a lot of NFL fans, but at the end of the day, like, it's a return. So it's actually happening more, and the injuries did go way down, which is even better. And you don't have guys blowing their hamstrings out, running down on high scoring games, 60, 70 yards for nothing. Now you actually have a play where, you don't have to worry about it. You could put better players on it.
Yeah. Trump's not a big fan of the kickoff. He's not.
Is that right?
I haven't heard that.
He tweeted it out. He's like, what the hell's going on with the kickoff? These guys like frozen while the ball's in the air. Is stupid.
That's about as many football games as he's watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. How'd you like the halftime show?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a younger culture, right?
Did Rocco like it?
My wife is like, this is kind of boring. And then like she group chatted my kids and like, my God, Mom, this is awesome. So it's to each their own. I mean, and then you got all the conspiracy theorists with all the subliminal messages and
there was a lot in there. I had to look all that up yesterday. Then I was like, I wish I knew all that was going on. Yeah.
The color of the paint on the guy doing the Star Spangled Banner. I'm like, are we really like thinking about this stuff? Like, it blows my mind. Like
the game over thing. Yeah.
Can we just embrace the music and just kind of, hey, it is what it is. But his style is not very, you don't get the bounce and the jump, and it's words and it's rhythm and stuff like that. So I was cool with it. Like I said,
it's not quite the venue for his act, honestly.
I'm the game commercial guy, honestly. The halftime show is an opportunity to go get some food,
exactly,
and do my thing and reload. So
what was your favorite commercial? Yeah,
that Matt Damon commercial with
Duncan.
With who?
With the Duncan one?
The Dunkin' Donuts?
No, oh gosh, it was the guy. Who was the guy? I know, it's blowing my mind.
I like
the Duncan was good too, but there was another one with Matt Damon where he's like kind of talking to another actor.
I forget that one.
Yeah. Was that the David Beckham one?
Oh, the Beckham one. Wasn't that Damon in that one too?
Yeah, and Stella Artois. Yeah, it was for Stella.
Oh,
Stella
that was good. I like the Jeep one. I did like the Duncan because making fun of Starbucks. That was my favorite.
I think overall they were average.
I mean, well, they're not like they used to be when you could really do stuff. The Bud Light one was good. The party on the cul-de-sac. I like that one. That was good. That looked like an Anthony Becht.
That they were able to squeeze in like 3 20-second UFL spots that they weren't making any money off of, that they were able to pop it in there, which was good. So
there you go.
Great.
There you go. When you win any of those spots?
Our team was. I was. They were kind of like, action deals. So
I got it.
When does the UFL season kick off, Anthony?
Yeah. So training camp starts for the players the 27th. Coaches report on the 24th of February. Our first practice is on March 3rd. And our first game is Friday night. We'll kick off the league on a primetime Friday night game against Houston on the 28th of March. So it's a very quick, it's a 3-week training camp. It used to be 4. It's going to be a tough evaluation process. I got new coaches. Yeah. It's a challenge for all of us. And the ones that kind of do it right will reap the benefits of it. So we'll see, man. It's definitely an opportunity. We want to take that advancement and get into the playoffs and get into the championship this year, and hopefully we get that done.
April 19th, you guys make a trip down here to Arlington to face my Renegades. Maybe I'll see you at the game, Anthony.
Yeah, there you go.
Do it, man. Yeah, they got a lot of seats available, so you need tickets. You let me know, man. I'll take care of you. There's a lot of Battlehawk fans there too.
All right, partner. Great. Yeah. Always great to catch up. I'll see you at the All-Star thing, if not before.
Okay, guys. Take care.
All right. Thanks. See you then. The great Anthony Becht right there, and Rocco Becht represent that. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Scott Reynolds going to join us now. Has his I think his hair is done. Is finally done. It's coiffed and looking good. So I think he's out of the hair dryer. He had the big hair dryer he puts over, So I think he's done with that. All right, we will take a quick break. Back on the other side with Scott Reynolds. Stay with us. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. Hey, JP here for my personal concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. Yeah, he's been on the show for the last couple of years, but this is kind of a new deal, and only a limited amount of you can get involved with this personal concierge service. And what I love about it, you can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required.
And Chris emphasizes a healthy lifestyle to help prevent illness. But when I do need assistance, he's always available. From nutrition guidance to supplement recommendations and workout advice, his expertise is a game changer. Plus, as a medical provider for the National Guard, he stays up to date on the latest health trends and practices, steering clear of the outdated conventional medicine that often relies on unnecessary prescriptions. And the best part, Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself. Take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Hey guys, why not kick off 2025 by popping the question? Yes, and you know where to get that perfect engagement ring. It's the Gold and Diamond Source. The best prices, the best quality, and yes, get her a real diamond. You don't want to go with the fake stuff. And January's birthstone is garnet for all you FSU fans, right? Get 15% off all the unforgettable garnet jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source. Also, discover Emilique by Emily Johnson Weitraub, a sleek and modern jewelry line that makes everyday gifts extraordinary. And don't forget, you have any unused gold? Turn it into cash or a stunning new piece. With gold prices soaring, there's no better time to trade up. You can do it all at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. The Golden Diamond Source has their buy one, get one 40% off promotion going on right now through Valentine's Day. So get your butt in there if you have not. Take care of your business. Just get right in there. They'll take care of you. Tell them what you got to spend. They'll pick out something awesome. Wrap it up nice for you. Buy one, get one 40% off. If you're looking to pop the question, you got to go there. Get a real diamond. That's the way it works. The Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at the Golden Diamond Source.com. All right, let's welcome in the aforementioned. Look at that coiffed hair right there. You may have taken an hour to do your hair, but it looks good. It looks
Thank you.
good.
Appreciate
It's worth it.
Thanks.
Did you get like that big dryer? They put the dryer over your hair when they
No,
do that?
but I probably should. I probably should get a haircut too.
We just assumed that's where you were, was at your hair appointment. So
No.
Of course you would. Absolutely. How you doing, partner? How was your Super Bowl?
Doing good.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a dog in the fight. Like I used to root for Kansas City back in the day, but now they've kind of become annoying, and so I'm just saying it's like they're like the new Patriots or the new Crimson Tide, you know.
Yeah.
I was a
like,
Dolphins fan
win.
growing up, and I have no emotional attachment to them at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't anymore. So matter of fact, I like defense, and so when I saw Philly, and I hate Philly. I can't stand rooting for Philly. It was a bit of a conundrum on Sunday because I didn't like either team per se. It's like if the Chiefs won, okay, it's cool to witness history, but the fact that they didn't get that is also kind of cool. The fact that the Eagles defense was just amazing. So I was like a little bit of like a shark in the water. Like when I saw the blood, you know, like around Mahomes and they were feasting. I was like it's Shark Week. That's cool.
See, I blame Dallas Cowboys fans for the Chiefs' loss because everyone did here in Dallas on social media was post Dallas Texans versus Philadelphia Eagles stuff because the Chiefs were originally the Dallas Texans.
Right.
No, they're not.
So
Dallas is finally going to win a Super Bowl.
Dallas was trying to freaking claim the Chiefs. I'm like, you guys are stupid. You're going to jinx it. And sure enough, look what happened. I said, look what y'all did to the poor Chiefs.
Yeah.
But what's
true?
One of the thoughts that kept running through my head as I watched the Eagles beat the crap out of the Chiefs was the Bucs beat the crap out of the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I understand no Devontae played, but no Kalijah Kancey didn't play in that game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if Antoine Winfield played in that game. Yeah. Whatever. It was a beatdown, 33-16. And I'm saying, well, if the Bucs can beat that team, they should have, now I look at the season 10-7, first round exit, and I'm like, it feels even worse. This team had a much better opportunity, I think. I don't know if they won the Super Bowl, but I think they should have had a better season.
I agree. I feels like they should have beat the Commanders in that game. But here's the thing: when you get 0 takeaways on defense, I'm sorry, that's the culprit. Because again, I'm a defensive-minded guy. It's how I perceive football, and if you look at Philly had 13 interceptions during the season, right? That's not a huge number. That's not anything you want to beat your chest over, but they did have 2 rookie cornerbacks as well, right? In Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. But in the playoffs, including the Super Bowl, the postseason, they got 6.
Yeah.
They got 6 interceptions.
13 total takeaways in the postseason, I think.
Yeah. And they, again, 13 interceptions through 17 regular season games. But what did they do in the postseason? When it mattered most, they got the ball. They had 8 forced fumbles, 7 fumble recoveries in the postseason as well. So it's like that's what good teams do. It's what great teams do. It's all about the takeaways. If you go back to Tampa Bay and their 2 Super Bowl years, I mean, the Super Bowl itself, right? 3 pick sixes, 5 interceptions back in 2002, and then Mahomes threw 2 interceptions in Super Bowl 55. The Bucs didn't. I don't think they had one single turnover. Maybe they did, but it was inconsequential. But they had, they had the interceptions and forced fumbles against the Saints,
Sacks,
right?
Big plays on defense.
Big plays on defense all the way through the postseason, right? Washington, New Orleans, Green Bay, and then Kansas City. So that was the missing element this past year. And so it's like, I think they need better coaching. I think the players, they need some better players. They need to find some ball hawks, some guys that actually have a propensity to make big plays, like Cooper DeJean. Him getting a pick 6 was not a surprise. You go back and look at the Iowa film, like that's what he does. It's who he is, right? And it's like Rondé Barber had 15 interceptions in 3 years at Virginia. Are we surprised he had 47 interceptions in the NFL? What's the saying? Past performance is not always indicative of future success, like in the financial world. It doesn't mean that who you were in college is going to be who you are in the NFL. But I think it's more likely that if you were a ball hawk in college, those tendencies will manifest themselves at the pro level. Whereas if you didn't pick off any passes in college, you had like 1 pick in 4 years, and Jamel Dean was not a turnover machine whatsoever, that's more likely to occur in the NFL. You're not going to just all of a sudden flip the switch and the highest level of football become great at something that you weren't at lower levels. It just doesn't work that way typically.
So go find those guys defensively.
Go find them. Yeah.
And this offseason is all about fixing the defense, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the offense is good. And we'll take a quick look at Josh Grizzard. Obviously continuity was why he got the job.
Yeah.
He has never called plays.
Right.
He's had a very interesting career. It's not necessarily the usual that you would see elevated to an offensive coordinator, but there's a reason why they did it. And continuity is the number one reason. I think at this point, Baker Mayfield is maybe the most important part of this offense. And, from a coordinator standpoint, he's probably going to be making all the calls at the line of scrimmage anyway.
Right.
So that's a good thing. So you're happy with this decision?
Yeah, I am. And because it's not just about the system and the verbiage, it's about the coaches too. Yeah. And if you bring in somebody new from the outside, hey, I got this guy that I coached with in college, and at my last stop, I want to bring him too. And it's like, okay, well, the offensive line was clicking under Carberry and Picucci. Why do you want to get rid of those guys, right?
Nope.
Like Skip Pete got all 3 running backs to really work and have a tremendous season. Why do you want to get rid of that guy? Brian McClendon, who was brought in from Georgia, worked wonders with Jalen McMillan, and was able to get guys like Ryan Miller ready when Chris Godwin and Mike Evans were out. Why do you want to get rid of him? Justin Peele turned Cade Otton into a damn good tight end. And at the end of the season, we feel pretty good about Payne Durham and Devin Culp as backup tight ends. Why do you want to get rid of that guy, right? So having Josh Grizzard, who worked with these guys, allows you to keep the staff too. And that's just as important as the playbook or the verbiage, because these guys are already proven that they can level up their own position groups. And so I think it's important from that standpoint as well. And then when you look at Grizzard being a smart guy, Todd Bowles has this is not his first rodeo. Like he did this with Dave Canales with the call-up periods and call-up plays in those periods. And I think that's going to be a fast track to helping him get acclimated to calling plays. And he's smart. I mean, Josh Grizzard, I think if you're looking for 2 statistics to stand out, he was in charge of the third down package The Bucs led the league in third down conversions, 51%. The other thing is, this is just about unheard of. He stayed in Miami through 3 different head coaching changes, from Adam Gase to Brian Flores to Mike McDaniel. They all saw something. It is. And it's not like he is, some hotshot play caller. He was like a quality control guy, a receivers coach under, a grunt, but a valuable one. Like, they saw value in keeping him on to last 3 different regimes. Like that's about unheard of for somebody at that level,
Impressive. All right, so off-season priorities, my friend. Myles Garrett, I saw you write in your SR's Fab 5. That's not going to happen. We've talked about that.
Wait, here's the X factor too, and I have to say this: it's not like it's impossible for the Browns to trade Myles Garrett. They could do that. The problem is, if you're Cleveland, you're already $30 million over the cap. Okay, right now. So you think, oh, okay, we'll get rid of him, and that's going to clear up some cap room. No, actually not. It will accelerate his cap hit, which by itself is $36 million.
Yeah.
So you're already in the whole 30. Now you're 36 more on top of that, right? So Myles Garrett's only going to cost you $19 million worth of cap room. And if you let go of him, you're not going to have Myles Garrett, and it's going to cost you 36.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't make sense for them. And I know that he wants out. And you know what? Throw more money at the guy. He'll be happy. And you continue to build. Jimmy Haslam is 70 years old. Look around the league, the Arthur Blanks, the Jimmy Johnsons, Jerry Jones. Right? They're older owners that don't want to blow it up, because blow it up typically means 5-year rebuild, like demolition, right? It's like, we're close. All we need to do is tinker and tweak some things, but in reality, they're not. The Falcons still Falconed with Raheem Morris, right?
Yeah, they
did. The Cowboys, they're a mess with Jerry Jones. Tim, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, right? Nope. And Jimmy Haslam's the same way. He looks and says, well, we were 3 wins last year, but damn it, we had 11 wins the year before. Okay, you're still really far away. But he doesn't see that. And so he doesn't have the time, because in his mind, selfishly speaking, and all NFL owners are selfish, I don't want to be 75. Who knows if I'm going to be alive at 75? I want to see the Browns good, and I want to see him win a championship. And so you're telling me that I got to trade you, Myles Garrett? You're one of the better players we have. It's not going to help my team get any better to part ways with you, because I have to cut other good players to free up cap space to absorb your $36 million. So it's fun to play the game. Oh, let's see Myles Garrett in Tampa. Will the Bucs do it? No, they're not going to, because the Browns aren't going to trade him. And if they do, they will get a king's ransom. And I don't see Jason Light having the stomach to give up multiple first-round picks. And here's the thing. It's probably going to cost more than 2 first-round picks. If the Browns decide to hit the demolition button, they're going to say, we need to get a Herschel Walker type deal out of this.
2 ones, a 2 and a 3 is probably what they want. And they need to remake their team. That's it's what the Eagles did with Carson Wentz trade. That's what the Detroit Lions did with the Matthew Stafford trade. That's the best way to rebuild your team, no question.
Yeah. Throw Kyle Trask in the deal, because he's automatically the best quarterback they've had in 14 years.
No, they would probably demand Baker Mayfield. They'd probably want the mea culpa for what they did to Baker Mayfield, and say they'll say we screwed up. We admit our mistake. Now please give Baker back.
So it's funny. I wrote a piece for Athlon Sports on the Browns and the Myles Garrett situation and how disgruntled he is. Okay, so very famously, the Browns have had 40 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks, since 1999 when they were reintroduced into the league. 40. But how about this? Since 2017, when Myles Garrett was drafted, they've had 14 starting quarterbacks.
Man.
So no wonder he's disgruntled, right? I get it.
That's insane. And some of the names of those quarterbacks, too. Woo.
Yeah.
Roll those out. And plus, Josh Sweat doesn't cost you anything in draft compensation.
Correct.
You're going to have to pay Myles Garrett anyway. You're going to have to pay Josh Sweat.
Yeah, there's Khalil Mack, there's Josh Sweat. There's
Trey Hendrickson.
I was going to throw a potential Josh Sweat contract at you, Scott, to see if you thought this would stick with the Bucs. So he's looking at probably 3 years, 18 per.
Probably.
I'm thinking it's probably what he's going to sign somewhere.
Yeah.
Is that something the Bucs
probably
could conceivably afford?
I don't know. Could they afford it? Yes, they can absolutely afford it. He's a very good rusher. He is. He's had 1 year with double-digit sacks. He had a great Super Bowl, obviously, and I think he had 8 sacks this year. He's a very good rusher. Right or wrong, Jason Light might look at him and say he's like an advanced version of Yaya Diaby. Now, having 2 Yaya Diabys, not a bad thing, but typically what you want, and I go back to my Kansas City days when I was watching Derek Thomas on one side, Neil Smith on the other. Neil Smith was the power runner, the power run defender, power rusher, and Derek Thomas was that fleet of foot, bend the edge, win the arc, speed rusher. And to have that complement, and if you look at Jason Pierre-Paul, very similar to Yaya Diaby, freak athlete, wins with power, has some bend to him, but Shaq Barrett was that juice guy, that lightning in a bottle, quick get off, time the snap, use my speed, and win that way. And I think the Buccaneers are looking for some more juice off the edge. Yaya's really good. I think in time he can be a double-digit sacker. I think Josh Sweat is too much like Yaya Diaby right now. Whereas, we've kind of floated the idea of maybe if you're going to trade for somebody, trade for Trey Hendrickson. He is that speed, bendy, quick get-off guy. And I don't know about you, but 17 and a half sacks over the last 2 years, and each of the last 2 years, like that's crazy production. And, he's not the most complete guy like Myles Garrett is, where Myles is stud against the run and the pass. Trey Hendrickson, he's not a stud run defender. He's good, but
he's 30 years old.
I just want the sacks. I want somebody that I know it's third down. Our chances of getting a sack here and killing this drive and forcing a punt are pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. Because here's the problem. The problem is when you've got Yaya Diaby getting 60 pressures or whatever he got last year. Pressures are great, but you can get a pressure on a touchdown pass. Okay. Now, a pressure can also force an interception or an incompletion too, but there is a finality with the sack, right? And if, for example, if it's 3rd and 4 on the 40-yard line and you pressure a quarterback into an incompletion, they might just say, we're going to go for it. It's 4th and 4 on the 40, right? So what did that pressure do? It advanced the down to 4th down, but they're still going to go for it anyways. Right? Because conventional thinking in this day and age is 4th down is a playable down. 4th down back when you and I were growing up was an automatic punt down. Oh, it's 4th and 1. It's time to punt. Now it's like, no, we're going to go for it. But you're on your own 35-yard line. We need like 6 inches. We're going for it, right? Like that's, and I welcome that line of thinking from offenses. But that pressure that Yaya Diaby got when he didn't get the sack, it's not as impactful or important, where if he got a 7-yard sack, now it's 4th and 11.
Exactly.
Right. And now you're closer to midfield and you are going to punt.
It's a drive killer.
It's a drive killer. And that's what this team needs. They need a Simeon Rice, Shaq Barrett in his prime drive killer, a guy that has the speed to get back there and not just get the pressure or the quarterback hit, but actually get the quarterback on the ground to back him up, force the punt, kill the drive, or maybe, I don't know, how about a sack fumble? That would be nice.
Wow. Sack fumble.
What is that
all about?
You're not asking a lot, are you?
All right. Mock draft. You guys have got a couple out already, or at least one, I know.
Yeah. Our second one's coming out. The teaser is we do have the Bucs trading for Trey Hendrickson. I typically don't do this, but Josh Cape and I were talking about it. And it's like, all right, Jason Light has not really been like stellar when it comes to drafting edge rushers, right? You think back to Noah Spence in the second round in 2016. He was a bust. Joe Tryon-Schwenka, not a bust, but he has not lived up to expectations, right? No. He's not going to get re-signed. Yaya Diaby, probably the best so far, right? He's a solid number 2, right? I mean, if you had an alpha opposite Yaya, you would like that 1-2 punch, right? Chris Braswell, second round pick last year, way too early to tell. Not going to write him off, but he hasn't shown enough to where you feel really good about going into the season with Braswell on one side, Diaby on the other. So do you want to sit there and roll the dice again? Or is this position your kryptonite and you just say, well, the best pass rushers I've acquired were JPP via a 3rd-round draft pick in 2018 in a trade, and then signing Shaq Barrett, and I hit a gold mine on that. So we're going to try it in this one and see how that works.
Well, if you're trading for Trey Hendrickson, you're trading a 3rd.
Well, we're not going to tell you that. You're going to be able to watch.
You got to read it.
You got to read our mock draft on Thursday.
But you're still going to draft the edge at the top, so you're going to trade for Hendrickson and draft an edge.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So,
well, that's what I want to see. I want to see.
But I wouldn't mind. Listen, I wouldn't mind them flooding the position. I wouldn't,
exactly,
right? because Hendrickson is
can't have enough.
You're right, but here's the problem: you need a corner to replace Jamel Dean, right? That's a starting caliber corner.
You think Jamel's definitely done because they can save what 8.6?
They can save 8. Yeah.
Okay.
And
he's done.
Yeah, they got rid of Carlton Davis for the same reasons last year.
Yeah,
not dependable. Can't trust him because of injury, and then when he's out there, he just doesn't make plays in the ball, right?
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, our lasting image of Jamel Dean was riding the bike in the second half of that loss to the Commanders and seeing his replacement, Josh Hayes, give up a touchdown to Terry McLaurin on 4th down that allowed the Commanders to go ahead. And then on that final drive on 3rd and 6, De'Ami Brown on Josh Hayes got a 21-yard gain, and they went across midfield. So that's the lasting image. If I'm Todd Bowles, and I'm almost like when Jameis Winston threw the 30th interception of his 2019 season, it was the pick 6 to Deion Jones in overtime against the Falcons. Like, that was it. Bruce Arians had seen enough. Like, you cost us the game, Jameis.
No, I think it was actually the press conference when he said, check your sheet. I think
exactly. That was it.
Like Bruce was on the edge, and that just pushed him over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Over the side.
So to me, if I'm Todd Bowles and I'm looking, and I'm seeing Josh Hayes, give up the touchdown, and I look down the sidelines and there's Jamel Dean on the bike, working out that knee, like, I'm done. Sorry, man. Like, the best ability in football is availability. And if you can't be available, you're no good. So they need a corner. You need at least 1, if not 2 inside linebackers. That's 3 starters right there. I don't feel good about Jordan Whitehead. Do you?
No.
I mean, okay, there's 4. You need a strong safety. And then you need an alpha edge rusher. So you need 5 guys. Here you go. 5 right in front of my face.
That's
5.
big. It's an SR's Fab 5.
And
a hamburger place.
And so it's like it's tough, right? You've got a situation where it's not just like add Simeon Rice in your Super Bowl contender like it was in 2001 when he came aboard the Buccaneers. It's a different situation where he is. Jason Light is not 1 edge rusher away from having this defense, rebuilt and formidable. He needs linebackers, needs another corner, and it needs a strong safety. So,
lots to do.
Yep.
All right, partner. I might also want to say that JP Peterson is now becoming a Pewter reporter.
Yes, about that. Yes,
on
absolutely.
the JP Peterson show.
Yep.
I'll be doing some videos for the Pewter Report as well. So, thank you for having me aboard as we cross promote and cross pollinate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Appreciate you
you're going
coming
to be
on.
Co-hosting a couple of free agency shows for us coming up in March too. So we're excited about that. You and Josh Capo will be handling the duties for free agency at the start of that. And then Matt Matera and I will pick up the baton and carry it on during our week of free agency coverage. So we appreciate you doing that. And you'll be appearing as a guest on Pewter Report's podcast from time to time.
How much cap room do the Bucs have? Like,
they've got just over $2 million right now, but they can create as much as they need. I mean, they really can. You can go to Vita Vea, you can go to Mike Evans. Josh Capo's even floated extending Mike Evans for a year could really create even more cap room.
Yes.
You can go to Baker Mayfield, you can go to Winfield. They have so many big contract players. You can go to those guys, restructure them,
and really create cap room.
I will say this though: don't freak out, Bucs fans. This happens every year. We try to tell you this. We try to give you guys fair warning. Mike Greenberg is a cut as you go, spend as you go kind of guy. He is not going to sit there and clear the decks and say, "Oh, we have $40 million now. Well, now where are we going to spend it?" It's once Jason Light and he have targeted a player, they need X amount of cap room. Mike will sit there and go to a player, like say Mike, and say, I need to restructure your contract. This is what we're going to do. Mike Evans says, okay. And then they have 8 million created for this player. And then they do the same process every single time that they need more cap room. They'll do another deal. Instead of just clearing all the deck at once, they'll sit there and do it kind of piecemeal. That's how they operate. So don't get alarmed or freaked out when you see, the Bucs only have 2 million. And how are they going to re-sign Chris Godwin? They only have 2 million. No, it's going to get handled. There's plenty of ways they can do it. They can probably, if they wanted to, they could clear $80 million worth of cap space this offseason. They could. They're not going to. Might be 40, might be 60. We'll see. But
whatever they need. Yeah.
Just
whatever makes sense.
Trust Mike Greenberg. We've done that.
Tell everybody how they can
work
get
out.
Your new mock draft. When's that coming this afternoon?
Thursday at 5 p.m.
tuned.
on pewterreport.com. Then we're having a draft show on Pewter Report TV that night at 8:30, where Josh Capo and I will go over all of the draft picks and the trade for Trey Hendrickson, and you'll see what we traded to get Hendrickson. And I think everyone's going to be pleasantly surprised by this mock draft. I think it's going to be a good one, and we're working on it right now. So that is 8:30 on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube
All right,
channel.
partner. Great stuff, man.
Appreciate
Look forward
it.
to working with you.
Yep, you got it.
It's gonna be fun.
Bye, Scott.
See you, Tim.
All right. What do we? Oh, I have to share this with you. I don't know if I should share it, but I just feel because I'm transparent with everything I do. Right? We like to share.
I need to sit down.
Yeah, you probably do. Crap. Because you're not going to like this. You're not going to like this. So the folks at the Straz, they know, and I've revealed this. I'm a fan of musicals. I'm a big fan of musicals. When I saw the one of the Temptations, Ain't Too Proud, it was fantastic. So good. Temptations, music, Motown, the story, and then you get all the backstory of the artists, right? And it's really, and then the great music and choreography is fantastic. Just incredibly talented people. It's inspiring to me. So tonight's musical is A Beautiful Noise, the story of the great Neil Diamond. Yeah. Sweet Caroline. So many great songs, iconic songs.
You've seen The Jazz Singer, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
His movie from, I believe, 1980 with Lucy Arnaz.
Yeah, and you tell me he's not doing well. Neil's not doing
no.
well.
He's obviously he's up there in age, and he's been dealing with pretty severe dementia and Alzheimer's for a while. So he can't tour. He can't really do anything. But I saw him a couple times in the 90s. And dude, fantastic.
I heard he was just a tremendous showman. Tremendous showman. Yeah. So I'm going tonight. So the lovely Ashley, not a big fan. She's a bit younger.
So if you were going to see Kendrick Lamar, would she go with you?
Probably not. Probably not.
Okay. All right.
So I'm taking a date. Our good friend Brian Fasulo was like, "Yeah, I'll go. Hell yeah!" So it's just going to be two elderly white gentlemen going on a date to see Neil Diamond and Beautiful Noise.
Maybe a lot of that there. You're not going to find a lot of 20-something hot chicks there. That's for damn sure.
Well, that's not what we're looking for. No, but it's a celebration of the music. I think it'd be fun. Although we probably might be singing louder than people would.
Do they have someone like portraying him on stage, singing the songs?
Of course.
All right.
I don't know who it is, but I don't know who it is. Yeah, like they do with all these, great musical plays that they do. And I've seen quite a few of them, and they're fantastic. Who started this genre? I'm not quite sure. It was the first story of a musical act.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. But and it turned Disney's kids movies into musicals, been a huge success. So yeah, we're going. So two dudes going to see a musical. You guys okay with that?
And they'll end it with America, how he ended all of his songs. That was always the last whatever at the end of the show. He'd come back out on stage, and they'd do just like he did in The Jazz Singer at the very end. He would play America and do the big ending production, which was cool. So
Rick must have left the show, otherwise he'd be commenting.
No, he's here. He wants to know if you're wearing matching ascots.
You know what? Maybe we will. We'll just complete the whole look.
He also wants to know how much cap room the Pewter Report has for you. Those Diva Sports hosts are very demanding. He'll probably insist on max Tim headroom.
I could just say this. We are looking for sponsors for said videos. So my participation will be at sponsor related. Yes. Yep. And I try not to do anything for free anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking for a sponsor. So you get the great Pewter Report has 18,000 subscribers, so we're doing this to build our audience, obviously, and to make money too. So if you're interested in advertising on the JP Peterson Pewter Report videos, we need a name for it too. We're going to do
Rick
something.
Should have his own ads.
What's that?
Rick should have his own ads.
Yeah, Rick, come on. You should sponsor it. One of you guys come sponsor it. Yeah, I'm like, we need a catchy name for it. JP's Perspective. So it's JPP.
Pewter Perspective.
JP. Oh, we could go JPPPP.
Yeah.
JP's Pewter Perspective.
A lot of JPPs. Hard to say after a couple of fireball shots.
JPPP. It would be like what you were doing earlier in the show today.
Apparently, I can't wait to go back and look. I'm dying.
No,
yeah.
You may not enjoy that. I'm surprised everybody didn't leave. All right, actually one of the best things you've ever said on the show.
The smartest I ever sounded.
All right, thank you guys for joining us as always and participating in the comments. Really appreciate y'all. We will be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. We'll see you then.